Welcome to Positive Moments with Andrew and Don.
Let everything go.
That was such a life-changing experience.
It's a way of life, it's a way of being, it's a way of thinking, it is mind management.
It inspires me to know that there's more to learn every single day.
Welcome back everybody. Positive Moments with Andrew and Don Season 2. This has been long in the making to return with you all in a bigger, better and more positive way. We want to thank everybody for the amazing support we had last year. The positivity has not stopped. If anything, it's increased because we must continue to be the best versions of ourselves. And if we're doing that, we're becoming more and more positive. So with all the amazing opportunities that were created last year, this year, in this new season, we're going to bring it twice as nice. And I'm so grateful to have my brother, Mr. Don Lafoucard, on my side to continue to bring you all our show, our love, and our positivity. Don, we're back, brother.
Wow, Andrew, I'm so excited because, we're always wondering about the next moment. But every moment is a moment that we can actually make positive in spite of whatever is happening. And we had a fantastic time last time around. There's so many memories we could count on. 16 webinars. 16 webinars. This is a little different now, but 16 webinars that we could draw from. We made a lot of friends. When we even look back at webinar number 16, let me start from the back and go forward. The comments of how it impacted people around the world, not just in Trinidad and Tobago, but around the world, is something that we're eternally grateful for, and it's something that we're going to continue to do and even deepen the reach of the show.
Absolutely, and you really touch on something there that is very heartfelt to me, that it was real fun and exciting, and we met so many good people and created so much positivity. And one thing that, I really remember is that I was stuck away. You were here at home, I was away. And it just goes to show that no matter where we are, no matter what we're going through, we could find that positivity. That distance should never separate what can be. So as we go into this new opportunity with new guests and new way of bringing the show to the audience, and we reflect on last year, we want everybody to come out and show us their positivity. Use the hashtag Positive Moments with Andrew and Don. Tag the show on all the social media platforms. We're here for you. The positivity continues. We're amplifying it. And as Don and I come out here to show everybody how, no matter what we go through, we stay positive. Don, tell them a bit more about, what does it mean to be positive in this day and age especially?
Wow, well, Andrew, especially now we need the positivity. With all that's been happening and continues to happen, there's a level of uncertainty that is outside there. And Andrew, in spite of what is happening, we wonder what's going to happen in the future, but we must never lose sight of where we are now, the journey we've been on. I still remember our first conversation, Andrew, about the whole concept of positive moments with Andrew and Don. And it worked out nice with Republic Bank with the PMAD. They have the PMAD, which is really power to make a difference. But positive moments with Andrew and Don, the whole reason for it is that in spite of all that's happening in the world, you back then being in Spain, I being in Trinidad, we just, via computer, collaborating and talking. The love that we have and the genuine interest we have in building people and helping people to be all that they can be has never stopped. And no COVID or no disease or no pandemic or no anything could stop that when you really in your heart, when you want to be positive and really want to make a difference in the lives of others. And Andrew, the good thing is that we didn't have to make that journey alone because we had some fantastic guests. If I start naming names, it's going to be like, okay, I'll call out just one. I'll call out maybe Shaka Hislop. I remember, Shaka just finished on ESPN, jump on Positive Moments, and after an hour, Shaka is saying like, wait a second, we have to stop already? This thing going so good. And we almost felt like if we were, Shaka is from Diamond Vale in Trinidad, and we felt as if it is like we on the corner, sit down talking about football and the memories. What was it like for Trinidad to be able to qualify for the World Cup? Shaka in that game against Sweden and 0-0, and we felt as if we won the whole World Cup with that game. Those sorts of memories, people were able to live those memories with us through positive moments. Of course, it wasn't only about sport, but there were other areas as well too that we were able to bring in, even the finance aspect of it, even leadership as well, having somebody from John Maxwell come on and talk about leadership. Andrew, I think we have a lot that we could be happy about. And I mean, I'm excited about this session actually going forward to know that, we're going to have some interesting guests and they each have a perspective on life. And it's not so much about they being right and somebody saying this is right or wrong, but they're entitled to their perspective too, especially now with the sensitivity of all that's happening. People are going to have a view. And positive moments, yes, you can share your view, but we still want to, what are these solutions? Because we could talk about problems from now until whenever. But this show is solution oriented in mind. And that's what we're about, Andrew. There's so many solutions, even by way of a recommendation, we can bring to this show, bring to the audience. And of course, it makes a great difference.
Absolutely. And, I don't know where you found this, but what I do know is that you have an amazing gift. Very, very special gift with words. And, thanks to Republic Bank for creating this amazing show for us and creating this platform that we could spread positivity across the world. And, Republic Bank has a program called PMAD, the power to make a difference. And your ability, when we were looking at what can we call this show, to take the same letters, PMAD, P-M-A-D, and somehow realize that inside of there had positive moments with Andrew and Don, blew me away. I still freak out about it, how cool that was to find that inside there, because it just shows that the love was there already. It was just to see it and look at it from a different perspective. And I want you to show our audience that you have a skill set, a gift with words. And I want you to take this word I'm going to give you and show the audience how, with the ability of looking at something different, they could shift the way they see and by nature the way they feel, which will eventually become the difference in the way they be. So how can you look at the word negative and make that positive?
Wow, 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 wow. Andrew, I love that kind of challenge. So let me tell you, in negative, Negative, I'm going to go for the G first of all, because it's only Him who has given me, God, who has given me the gift to be able to turn something negative into positive. So what I'll tell you, negative, Andrew, if I just demonstrated my fingers, I'm looking like I'm pointing at you and I'm demonstrating my finger. This you might say is a negative sign. But Andrew, it takes just another negative pointing up to make something positive. And that's what positive moments with Andrew and Don is all about. I'll tell you, for example, Andrew, when we started, this whole thing was a storm. And that storm, S-T-O-R-M, that storm, if you take out the R, you get storm. If you make a word out of it, you get the most. And Republic, the R, has actually come in to help make the most in this time. And that brings me to, it takes corporate Trinidad to really make a difference. And Republic Bank certainly has stepped up the plate. It's a bank and their profits and so, but no, really and truly, they have the heart. That's why the power to make a difference is in the shape of a heart. They really have the heart, and to join our hearts to make this very, very positive. And as we get different people on, different organizations, different individuals, and I'm sure in season 2 we have some wonderful people who are going to come on and put their spin. Andrew, you just want to give a little sneak preview, maybe just a name or two. I know we have to confirm and get them to sign the dotted line and say yes, but maybe even from a corporate point of view, because they bring some perspectives as well too, as to how to remain positive in this time. Maybe you might want to just drop a name or two, just a little snippet as to who we might have in this time.
Yes, we actually I wouldn't drop a name or two, but I would definitely say that we have a nice background from the arts and culture. A lovely woman, a lovely lady who's a fantastic singer. So we can look forward to her talking about the sound of positivity. We have another gentleman who's also in the arts and culture who will talk about, what it takes to, showcase our island like never before in a positive way. We have a lot of businessmen coming through and businesswomen. We're going to talk to lots of males and females and explore the pathway of how they have become the success stories that they are, how they have found positivity in losing jobs, losing businesses, losing family members, many losses, and in those cases, I've heard it over and over where they say they're not losing, they're learning. So they'll be explaining a lot about their experiences and how they are learning to become the best version of themselves. And by always bringing a positive view on things in order to have anything positive. And from a business point of view, when things are in the negative, it must be seen first, how can I bring it positive before we could actually feel it and see it positive. So we have a wide range of people coming on, which is going to be very exciting to see the different views and styles. And I'm super excited. I'm really excited.
You know, I'm listening to you there, Andrew, and you talk about we have a lot of gentlemen and some ladies as well. And particularly now with the ladies, is a very sensitive time. And, you know, maybe who knows, you might actually get a view as well as to someone who wants to help women to go forward in this time with all the things that are happening and they're under threats in different ways and so. But I think that's going to bring a unique perspective to the show as well too. And I think that's actually going to deepen our capacity in terms of what we're able to offer on positive moments to Andrew and Don. So even ourselves, Andrew's story, which was if I'm not mistaken, and my memories, it was webinar number 2 when you spoke about your own challenge, Andrew, having to overcome that fall of the wall and so, and what you had to go through then, and to be able to still come back on in a couple of months after be in the Olympics again. I mean, that certainly is something that, whether it's positive moments 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5, that's something that people are certainly going to remember from now until whenever. And I mean, through my own challenges as well too. Yeah, and Andrew, you know, I have to pause just for a second to drop a word. You know what I mean? I have to give a word. And you know that word challenge, for somebody looking on, I want to give you this very, very early. That word challenge, if you spell challenge without the LLE, the 4th, 5th, and 6th letter, that word challenge, if you take out the LLE, you get change. And every challenge you're faced with in your life, you have to change how you approach a challenge. Hopefully by watching positive moments, you can change how you approach a challenge. Somebody asked, why did they put LLE in the middle of change? Because we have to live life every day. And we hope by living life that you're able to live life a little more positive in spite of the circumstances. Because life is not what happens to you, but what you choose to do about it. Each of us have a choice to make, Andrew. And it's really about choices, not about taking chances, but it's about choices. We made the choice in spite of whatever. We didn't let the distance between Spain and Trinidad stop the program. I mean, for the last program, it was really special because it was worked out so nicely. God worked it out so nicely that we were actually in person. People say, but that's camera tricks. Andrew's supposed to be in Spain. And I mean, the audience were like, wait, look, positive moments happen. And we had a wonderful time there as well, too. And I have no doubt that this season two is almost like season 2, but here is a season, there's a point that we're going to get to. And there's a point where we're going to cement that this is something that is here to stay. This is something that we know has the worldwide capacity. I mean, we're still thinking of our friend from Belgium, Stella from Belgium, who talk about what each episode meant to her in her journey. And I have no doubt we're going to meet people who on their journey. Andrew, your journey is very interesting because we are in Olympic year. Tokyo is happening. It's going to happen for sure. You're again set to head to Tokyo. But that's not going to stop positive moments. Even as we're filming here now in person, maybe it's the reverse. You might have to do it, a computer screen afterwards or so. But Andrew, it's all about the journey, and life is not what happens to you, what you choose to do about it. And a bend in the road is not the end of the road unless you forget to make the turn. We have to make some turns. And let me turn to you, Andrew, okay? Because it's your turn.
Beautiful. And, yes, we are in our Olympic year. And so it might be a big year for me. And what people don't realize is while I'm sitting with you here, this is part of my training. Being able to talk positivity, being able to be positivity and live a life of positivity is training. That reflects in the way having a bad race, thinking about this moment here, could be that quicker recovery of saying, I remember when Don and I were speaking about this moment here. And instead of it taking 5 minutes to recover mentally, it could be take 5 seconds to move on from that situation that took place. So where people say, well, maybe I should be in the water right now training or in the gym. I already was done my training for the day. Find myself here to speak positivity because being an Olympian and training all day long, you will become good at training. My goal in life is to be good at living. There are many, many successful athletes in their career who end up in very negative situations because they're not good at living. So I believe as a human being, to be positive, you have to be good at living and understanding that yes, training is super important. Living is the most important thing. Because if we bring a good human aspect, a loving, positive aspect to this planet, that is the definition of a success. And by nature, you get a gold medal in living. I've met many athletes who have succeeded at winning medals, but they're depressed and sad. It's because the success of living is missing. So we must understand that. Is while I'm sitting here with you and we have this lovely audience watching on, we got to find that place in our life that allows us to be positive, that allows us to be successful at living. And that is very important. You're going to see the wide range that we're going to bring here for the audience of guests. And everybody will go through their trials and tribulations. We as human beings, if we didn't know what a storm was, how could we appreciate a blue sky, not a cloud in the sky view? How could we appreciate that? We must understand the rain has its purpose. If we didn't have rain and we didn't have that weather, how we expect our seeds to grow? And I know, when it comes to seeds,
Wow.
I actually first started to really understand what the concept of seeds was when I started to spend time with you. Sowing the seeds. Tell us a little about that and how positive that could be.
Wow. And Andrew, it's so interesting you should say that. And let me just stop for a little bit and say our audience is a wide range because we have some very young ones, We actually had some SCA students the last time, and then we have secondary school students, we have adults and continuing. But Andrew, that seed is very important because the seeds, I want to talk about the seeds. The first three letters is how we see. And how we see things determines the C, determines how we get to the D, the destination. And that destination at the end of it is supposed to bring success. It's supposed to bring, but how do we see things, Andrew? And part of what we're doing here, we're helping people to see things from a positive point of view. We can always find the negatives in life. We don't like people because of whatever, they bald head. Right, you know what I mean? But we still have to find something positive, Andrew, and it's really how we see. That's what this program is about. And I mean, they think about a youngster being able to see differently and they understanding that they have immense potential inside of them. I mean, you're an inspiration, but even from how you speak as well, that deepens the inspiration because some, for example, may just see you as, hey, the Olympic athlete, the three-time Olympian. No. It's a lot much more than that. And that I admire that personally with you. I mean, some people celebrate people when they're not there. I want to celebrate people as best as I can when they're there. I'm learning to do that as well. And I want to celebrate you, Andrew, because what you bring to the table for a lot of youngsters and others is that we could find a way. From your own story, it's not how many times you fall, it's how many times you get up. And you're getting up and we're helping people to get up. And this is positive moments. We want people to know that you can get up from your situations. We're going to take a look at them. We're going to try and analyze them. No, we don't know everything. We are learning, and this is just a platform. And maybe, who knows, maybe people can even, as they email us, andrewandonlive@gmail.com, andrewandonlive@gmail.com, they email us and say, hey, how about if you cover a topic and cover this particular topic because I really want to get some more of it. We've had that kind of feedback in the first session, and it was, Andrew, what about, the PEC? The PEC, you could talk about what that PEC means because I was able to get those three words and share them with Andrew before, and very important. He just qualified for the Olympics. And then to get the right perspective, I say, Andrew, PEC. And folks, he'll tell you what it means. If you hear my boy in the press conference the next day, all I'll say is PEC.
Yeah, PEC. And, what I like about PEC is it's three simple letters. But when distributed by the right person, with the right meaning, could have an effect on a human being that could be the reason for winning a gold medal. And for the reason for getting people to understand the process of an athlete getting to a gold medal. And when Don brought it to me, PEC, while I knew it, it hit home for me to make everyone else around me aware of it. And this is important because PE stands for prepare, execute, celebrate. And at this point in time, when PEC was brought into my life, I was in the execution phase. I still am in the execution phase. At that point in time, I had just qualified for my third Olympics. Everybody was celebrating. But we had not reached it. We are not in the celebration phase yet. We are still in the execution phase. And as you showed me, Don, that in life we must go through things, not into it. If you go into something, in my opinion, you reach a full stop. And it was not about going into celebration mode to celebrate qualifying. Yes, qualifying was amazing. It was a real beautiful experience. Celebrate that, but not go into the celebration mode. So I'm still in the execution phase. And what I do like about the PEC concept, and our audience could, when they're watching this, you could share some feedback on what you think is your PEC. What are you preparing for to go out and execute in your life so that you could celebrate? And when we get to the celebration phase, I believe everybody must be celebrated in their life. Whether you're celebrating yourself or someone else is celebrating you, it is important for us to celebrate human beings because life is beautiful. It deserves celebration. But maybe sometimes people live in the celebration and don't understand the 2 steps before. We must understand what it takes to really prepare to execute. We see athletes on the track, in the field, in the ocean, in the different fields of play. But most of the time we don't see them behind doing the P and the E. So I asked the audience, I asked the guests, what is your P and your E so that you can have a beautiful lifelong of celebrations? Because you deserve it, we all deserve it. Yeah?
Most certainly, Andrew. And that PEC, some people want to celebrate before they execute. And some people want to execute before they prepare. But it comes in that order. And then we always have something to prepare from, because what seems like an exit is most times an entrance into something else that you have to prepare for as well too. So it's something that we mustn't lose sight of, even as we prepare for this season 2. And we get into it, both of us here today. And then, the next time around, we're going to have the guests. And so we're preparing for the guests. We're preparing to give them a platform where it is they can actually come in and share their views, and help enlighten us so that we could understand and we could learn and grow. And all of us are learning and all of us are growing, right? None of us here are perfect and we all make mistakes. And if I go with that word mistake, I will take out the M, and there is something we could take from every mistake. The M is important than the E because it happens to me and you too, right? So we make our mistakes, but we're supposed to learn, we're supposed to grow. And that to me augurs well even for positive moments, because it's going to make season 2 even better, even if the audience could identify with it more. And I think we're just looking forward, even the new platform that we're doing, the things that we're trying, and the bank supporting, they're saying, hey, we're going to hold your hand. And we're here to hold somebody's hand, maybe not literally. I think you have to kind of do a little bounce now these days, but maybe not hold your hand, but just to help you in your head understand that you can make it, and you can make it if you just look at things a little bit more positive. You can make it. And we're here for you, both Andrew and Don, positive moments with Andrew and Don. We're excited about this. I guess you could feel the excitement from us. And this is a love that started way back when we met in that school tour, way back again, That's a love that we had from day one. And that is what continues to grow and continues to blossom into something that other people are now able to appreciate and be a part of.
Beautiful. Let's take a break and have a little reflection on some of our favorite moments from Positive Moments with Andrew and Don, Season 1.
Right? But I want to say, Kyron, as I look on, people look at you, and even Andrew, people look at you and say, these guys, this had to be positive moments because they only have positive moments. And they need to understand that there are times that they go through stuff. Could you tell us briefly, Kyron, something that you've been through? Let's share with our audience. something that you've been through to tell people, hey, I go through stuff like everybody else. If you could share something with us, I like to broaden.
It, I always look back to 2014, and the full story hasn't, really been revealed as yet. When we had that, tour of India, where it was captained by Bravo doing Bravo, and we had to come back home. It sort of tour was cancelled, and it has always been said, by certain individuals that it was because of these two individuals that the tour was cancelled. And all the details have never come out. I don't think we have recovered, from that just yet, because people still doesn't know the truth. And then every time you step on a cricket field, say for instance, you're being called a mercenary. These guys only play for monies and stuff like that. I think mentally, right, I had to get tough enough to deal with that. So every time that I step on a cricket field now, and a guy calls me a mercenary telling me, yes, thank you, that's exactly what I am. Because I know what transpired, right? And if they wants to know the truth, they know the avenues to get the truth. But it is something that can damage you big time and in your mind, because people have a lot of things to say about you and about the individual without knowing the situation and the individual. And as I just said, when West Indies team wins, West Indies wins. If it loses, Kyron Pollard would lose. So we keep.
Now, you're looking at also 45% are struggling to make their rent or mortgage payments, and 36% say they are most likely to miss a payment in the next 6 months. 30% are likely to miss their health insurance payments, etc., etc. But the point I'm trying to make here is that where there is no plan and where there are no savings, financial stress occurs. My second point there with regards to this part is lack of adequate savings also led to an extremely high dependency on state handouts, grants, and charities. I mean, Don, you will know as well, we helped quite a number of people, and they're very sad stories. I mean, I have people reaching out to me almost on a daily basis to get a hamper, but you know what? A hamper might be for 2 or 3 days. What happens after? What happens after?
Surround yourself with people that force you to do better. And I mean, it's not so nice when you have family members who crying you down,
Mm-hmm.
But I want to say to somebody, you might have a family member who might push you down, but guess what? You still be the uplifter. You be an uplifter in your family. When you come to a family line, then everybody said, oh gosh, look, Bubblicious Reach. Look, that person's so bubbly. What I mean? Everybody, they just get everybody uplift. Okay? You know what I mean? You don't necessarily have to be the life of the party, but have something positive. And surround yourself with people that force you to do better. And I choose to believe my family wants me to be better, and they will help me be better.
My strength, I think it's always being able to discuss things with myself first. Not necessarily take everything that everybody else is saying full on. So somebody says X, I say okay, but there's Y, Z, and A.
I'll start even further back than that. I was at Howard for November 19th, 1989, when the team lost to US and yeah, there you go. Yeah, really aging me here, Andrew. I appreciate that. But I was at Howard when we lost that game and failed to qualify for Italy 1990, and I say unashamedly, I cried. And the way I put it is, listen, I was a fan of Trinidad football a long time before I proudly put on the shirt, and I'll be a fan for a long time after.
Wow. I'm sure you're excited about what you saw. We certainly had a good time in season 1, positive moments with Andrew and Don. And we're talking about good moments. There were actually some real feel-good moments too. And Andrew, I remember, for example, can't remember exactly what webinar number it is, but I certainly remember Giselle Laurent, Miss World 1986, talking about her journey. And Andrew, she was talking about children in particular and what it was like to see children, her having that impact on children around the world. I mean, there were some teary-eyed moments in there, Andrew. And let me tell you, positive moments with Andrew and Don, you're going to have some teary-eyed moments, Andrew. Anything that you think that was special that made you feel teary-eyed. Oh, by the way, let me just say quickly. In season 1, Andrew got the record. He got the Olympic gold medal for calling somebody the fastest. Because at the end of every webinar, from the time we say, okay, see you folks, another episode is coming up, another point in time, Andrew called me, Don, nah, this one is the best. But he did that 15 times. This one is the best. Nah, this one is the best. So Andrew, which moment really stands out for you in terms of all those memories? Which one really stands out for you in positive moments? I know it's going to be hard to make that choice.
Yeah. I mean, if it's 16, that means it's over 16 hours of footage and 16 hours of positivity. I mean, if somebody was to taking all 16s back to back, I would imagine they come out a different human being. And we want to encourage to definitely check out as many as you can, because the reason we put this content out here is to inspire, motivate, and help human beings create the best version of themselves. But one moment that really stood out to me was, Sophia Noel.
Wow.
Sophia Noel simply is out there to help human beings in a very challenging environment. Sophia Noel, what she has been through and all the experience she's had while helping people in the challenging situations that she put herself in, she has dedicated her life to helping human beings with challenges. We don't really find much people who dedicate their lives to not just providing jobs, security for people, who are going into environments with people who are challenged, identifying their challenges. Some people, you put them in that environment, they'll put on the same shoes as you and run far. They'll be gone. But she has dedicated a piece of her life to that. And big hats to people like that, because you could be super successful in business, many different entities, have all the money in the world you want. But the place I believe that human beings find purpose is when they genuinely help people. When I mean help people, I mean when you really are helping somebody is when they're in their worst and you are still finding the best in them some way, to believe in them. And that's simply seeing the positive and the negative. Because we all as human beings have dark sides and light sides. And some people live in the dark, a lot of dark. But the people who are able to live mostly in the light are the people who are able to be like guardian angels out there almost, looking after people. So it's important that while we have our dark sides, find the light. There always is a light out there to find, especially in the middle of this pandemic. This show was born in the pandemic. And this show will continue through the pandemic. And this show can continue after the pandemic. But it was born in a very dark time. But we saw the light. And if we can see the light, others can see the light. Because it's a simple human being ability which we all have. All have. Everybody can see the light. So while we share this light with as many people that we can, it's so important for us to understand our own darkness to be able to portray light. And that's really, for me, what I call the third person perspective. While I'm sitting here, I'm actually sitting in your shoes, feeling you, understanding you as best as I can. Yes, Don, I know you a long, long time. And you've played a major role in my life, a major role in my success. Even so, I remember, I will never forget this moment. I was walking into the grocery a couple of weeks before our Olympic qualifier. And I said, Don, I'm feeling nervous. And I'm a little bit scared. I think it took me some confidence building to express that. But I'm so glad I expressed that, because the delivery that you brought to my life allowed me to remember this moment when in these trying times. You said to me, I'm gonna send you a clip about Tiger Woods. Look at the confidence in which he plays and remember that you have that confidence inside of you. You've done it before, you can do it again. And what you haven't done before, you can do that also. Just that little message inside there, just watching Tiger Woods do his thing, reminded me that I can do my thing too. So we want to remind you all out there that you can do your thing too, no matter what it is. Remember that moment?
I definitely remember that moment, Andrew. And what you're talking there is hope. And to reflect on what you just mentioned about people, hope for me has a special meaning. And that hope is HOPE, helping other people every day. Hope, helping other people every day. We don't need a special occasion or have to be on an Olympic podium to do that, Andrew. Just from where we are, just in the grocery, or somebody being in the grocery, we can actually help other people every day. And that P in that hope is the positivity. That's the positivity that we bring. And I mean, in hope, you have HOPE. And look at the difference it makes. You have HO, so you can either, yes, you have an opportunity, the opportunity is there, the opportunity for the positivity is there, and the E to come out at the end of it, extraordinary. Because everybody, I believe, has some sort of extraordinary talent inside of them. And that's what Positive Moments is about as well, too, to actually bring out that talent so they can actually go out there and do. I mean, they're thinkers and they're doers. Yeah, we could think about, but let's do something as well too. And we want to encourage you outside there. If you feel inspired by looking at us, if you feel inspired by this program, we feel that we want to encourage you to go out there and make a difference too. It's not about Andrew and Don. It was never from the beginning. Andrew, remember when we started? And we were saying, okay, maybe you go on Instagram and look at how many followers you have and I have. And we said, no, we're not going to do this followers thing. We're not about followers. We're about making a difference because one person can have a ripple effect. One person can make that ripple effect. You know, ripples don't end. It's like the stone in the pond. They don't end. They just begin again. And we want the positive moments to have that. That moments, that's what's not positive moments, positive moments. It must continue and transcend to others. Maybe somebody might be looking on here. They may see something that really moves them, really says, boy, I feel this thing in my heart. And if you know Don LaFoucauld, well, he was about to do something with the word heart. Heart. When you find what you're good at, and you do that from your heart, Heart, I take the same letters and realize you get to travel around the earth. Andrew, what you're doing is taking you around the earth to different continents. You're having to have a new experience, soon a Tokyo experience, maybe what their culture is like and so. And even part of this is showcasing our culture, but also and learning about the culture of other people. You know, one of the things I didn't even realize, Andrew, because this is so natural between both of us and the love we have for each other, we didn't even realize we're making a statement. I mean, some people say, well, you're making a statement. And yeah, we're probably making a statement, but some people are just too judgmental. I remember going to a school with Andrew, and this is a special, maybe we have to get a clip, and they'll probably show a clip very soon of Andrew and I at a school. And Andrew, I remember we went to one of these schools, and somebody said, tall man, what a white boy could teach me. And man, afterwards, they surround that white boy because you didn't give him a chance. And hello, we want to give each other a chance outside there. That's what this is. It's creating an opportunity for everybody. Yeah, we have different backgrounds. Yeah, we might have different beliefs even. But who say we can't get along? I always say, Andrew, we don't have to try and say, okay, we have to get along, but let's try and understand each other. And when we try and understand each other, we understand that we could all get along. And Andrew, that's what this has been all about. Positive Moments is helping people understand that we could get along, that we could not only survive, but we could thrive even in a pandemic. And Andrew, I have to give a little something special about that pandemic. I have to, I just really have to do something.
Of course.
Because I discovered, Andrew, they say, don't worry about them. Don't take them on. Andrew, you see that them in the pandemic, the DEM, if you take out the DEM out of pandemic, you end up in panic. So kind of take them on a little bit. Just take them on a little bit. You know what I mean? That DEM in the pandemic, we still have a destination. And everybody could get there. Everybody, the DEM, we still have a destination. Everybody could get there. And everybody, the M, everybody could have a positive moment or positive moments. That's what this is about. And I'm glad you say this going way beyond the pandemic, Andrew. Way beyond the pandemic. There's a YouTube channel Positive Moments with Andrew and Don. It's actually a YouTube channel, and all the webinars are there. And these are going to be on YouTube as well. And you could feel free to share them with other people. I mean, when you bless, I think we're blessed to be a blessing to other people. And that's something I admire about you. Let me tell you a little something. I contacted Andrew. I said, Andrew, I know somebody who just lost their home in a fire. And let me tell you, Andrew was the same day, Andrew organized some stuff, dropped it for me the next day. And when I tell the guy, I say, here it is. The guy who organized all this is Andrew Lewis, the Olympic sailor. Now, the man didn't know much about Olympics and all that kind of thing. But he was so glad that somebody took their time to actually reach out to him and make life a little better, help him get some clothes and whatever else was given at the same time. And Andrew, that's what we're about. We hope that you, in what you're going through, we hope that you helping somebody else get through. What we're going through is not for ourselves alone. And it's not just to get into, as you said. It's not just to get in, right? We have to get through it. When we get through it, that's how we get over it. Some people want to get over it, but they don't want to go through it. But we want you to go through this season with us. Not just sit down for one show, you know what I mean? Come with the other shows as well and be learning. Every time we sit down, we learn it. You all might think this scripted. It's not even scripted. But we learning as well as we go along. And that's when we really and truly dig in deep inside Andrew. We go in deep and we're bringing out the God-given gifts and the talents that we have for the benefit of other people. And of course, we're ever so grateful to the Republic Bank, you know, for their support from day one. They work with us individually, and then they say, no, both of you all together, that's something we're going to support. And I mean, that's something that we're really, really grateful for. I'm sure, Andrew, you're grateful for a lot of things. Yeah, you'll have a lot of sponsors and all that too. But each sponsor, I mean, Republic Bank, for example, is helping you on your journey. And Andrew, I think, you know, one of my special webinars was the ambassadors. You know, Andrew's an ambassador for Republic Bank, but we had Nyla Blackman, we had Jareem Richards, we had Khalifa Sinford, we had Shanice Charles, and all the ambassadors. It'd be nice to have the ambassadors back for season 2. I'm not sure how we're going to do it, but for season 2, it'd be nice to have some of the ambassadors back. Because even to be an ambassador, what does it take to represent a company? What does it take to actually sit in a company saying, we are happy to have you showcase our logo or to have our logo? You know, Andrew, what was that like for you? I mean, just being even to be an ambassador, even at large. When I saw you holding the flag, what a proud moment for Trinidad and Tobago. Andrew Lewis is carrying the flag at the Olympic Games. I mean, that was really, really special. And I mean, there are others, Andrew, who too could have that flag, you know, in their own way. They mightn't get to the Olympics, but they could have that flag and wave that flag because this is, you know, sweet TNT, as we say. This is a lovely, lovely place. I feel good about my country, Andrew, in spite of all that's happening. But you're an ambassador. I think you feel good about not just the companies or the company Republic Bank, but just about the country. What do you feel about that?
You know, when we started really exploring the whole Republic Bank school tour experience, you know, as I enter into these different schools, there's so many different way you received. Sometimes, woof, everyone rushes to you. Sometimes everyone is reserved. Sometimes people are talking. Sometimes people are shouting. It's such a unique environment every time you enter a school. And yes, sometimes you're seen as, who is this fellow you all bringing here? And every time we get the opportunity to do our thing, the entire environment in which we started in and finished is a whole different environment. And we're talking about sometimes a couple hundred students. 2 people, couple hundred students. Strong leadership can have the effect on an infinite amount. There is no limit on how much effect strong leadership can have. And when I held the flag in the Pan Am Games, it was a real special moment because I was leading the team out of the tunnel. I didn't expect to be asked to hold the flag, but it just goes to show that I always thought it would be a nice thing, and I was extremely grateful for it. But that responsibility of leading the team out, holding the flag, representing my country in that manner, unforgettable. But it just goes to show, a flag is a representation of a country. Some cloth, some colors, and a whole lot of history. but it's as simple as a flag, which anybody in truly can create their own. Don Lafoucade can have his own flag and create his own following of a whole understanding and change an entire family, community, town, or even country or the world by creating something, believing in it, and telling your story with strong leadership. So that's what this whole thing is a representation to me. Is that I am in the making of expressing to the world who I am. And you are too, everybody is. But I really feel like on this journey, a lot of people get a little bit lost or distracted. And we must create programs like this and many other different opportunities to allow individuals to see the hope, to create increased faith so that they could see what they can create for their own flag, their own personal brand, as I like to say. So, Don, I want to take you on a little journey this afternoon to show you something that is one of the most positive locations that I have come across in my life in this country. Very, very special to me. And you have, the reason I connected it so well for us is because I've seen you do some interesting stuff with the word altitude. Maybe you can express that before I tell you a little bit more of the location. Tell me about altitude.
Yeah. Well, I'm very big on the eagle, and your attitude determines your altitude, has nothing to do with your aptitude. And it really and truly is about having the right attitude in life. We need to have a positive attitude. That's what positive moments is all about. You know, it's not about bringing negative things or negative situations or trying to avoid them either. But it's saying, okay, this has happened, but it's not what happens. What can we do about what happens? How can we now go to another level? Because in life we're growing. You know, we just said we're still growing, growing or going somewhere. But we need to be glowing later on. And what helps us to glow really and truly is the attitude that we have and the attitude we bring to life. Everyone has something that they're dealing with. And maybe just through one of these episodes of Positive Moments with Andrew and Don, you can actually look at life a little bit different and say, hey, I'm going to get through it. It's tough. It's really, really tough. It's really, 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 really tough. But I can get through it because I see these guys are still making the effort to get through it. So, Andrew, I know that journey, that special place, is going to give a different view. And sometimes from a different view, a different altitude, people are now able, their aptitude comes alive. Their aptitude comes alive, and then you realize that their attitude can change. And you know, it's an inside job. We wait for other people to make us happy, but sometimes we have to dig deep inside and decide that we're going to be happy. We're going to decide to be positive. We're going to decide, in spite of whatever, to try and see a positive moment, even if briefly. It doesn't change somebody's circumstance, but it changes how they look at their circumstance. And I believe, Andrew, once they change how they look at their circumstance, it could be a better circumstance later on. Or in other words, they can have a positive moment. If we're so worried about the moment that we're in, we forget that the moment that's coming up. Let's try to make the best of these moments so there are better moments waiting on. And I'm sure there are better moments on positive moments with Andrew and Don. And Andrew and I, again, are very, very excited to be part of this project, just to be vessels. That's all we are, just willing, inspired vessels to be part of the project and to see what we can do to help your moment as we go through our moments.
Beautiful. So I really look forward to taking you to this location. And as you touched on it, you know, as we go through things in life, to come out of it, I believe we need to have a mindset that's big of our own. And I relate that to altitude. Height in the mindset. If you think you could only think at this level, there's always another level you could graduate to. So we're going to take you all now to a very positive location of mine. I'm going to invite my brother Don to join me as we go up there in the altitude to see, feel, and continue our life of positivity. Come with us as we go on this journey together. Yes, brother. So this here is my place of altitude. And when I talk about altitude, I look at it in a different way. You know, some people may say, okay, cool, well, you've come higher than sea level and just a beautiful view. I see this as coming out of all that I can see and all that I can feel and be, so that I can see more, so I can be more. And this is finding the positivity, you know, this quietness, this beautiful environment in Mother Nature allows me to quiet down all my feelings that are brought on to me by everything happening around me, so that I could ask myself, what's going on in life? What's happening with me? And this allows me to have an opportunity to reflect. Can you feel how an environment like this and a view like this could really inspire positivity?
Well, Andrew, this for me is a new experience. And I've learned every experience is really meant for the next experience. I've learned that by experience. I'm not sure what is your experience, but you need to experience it to have the experience of it. You know, so I'm just talking about a lot about the experiences that we get in life and what we do with those experiences. And part of the experiences, we hope that is a positive moment in the experience for everybody, in spite of how it looks like.
And when we come closer to the edge here and we feel this environment, this beautiful view behind us, you know, sometimes I see like you get closer to the sun, you could feel it even more, that nature is around. Nature is one of my greatest teachers in life. You know, if we think about an old car or old home, we'll often pass by it, but do you realize that trees are growing out of it? That nature is so positive that it just wants to take over everything and add that greenery to it, add oxygen back into this world. And if we could really understand her and Mother Nature and respect her, we could really understand what a positive perspective can be all around us. But we need to come out to grow inside, to have more on the outside.
Yeah, well, many of us are introverts and not extroverts, you know, because sometimes we just bottle it up inside, and it really needs to come out to be all that we could be. And there's so many people walking around there, Andrew, who have so much good inside of them, like the greatness buried inside of them. And what we want is the greatness actually to come out of them. So we're hoping by this show that people can actually discover that greatness inside of them, because we all have that greatness inside of them. But just as the word greatness has ESS at the end of it, everybody has to start somewhere, you know. And we started, you know, at another location, and then we're here now at a different location. And I mean, that helps us understand. I mean, God is great. This is a wonderful bit of nature here. This is a wonderful place. And we have it so close. We have it so close to us, you know. So let's not, I guess, you know, take it for granted. Let's not take it for granted, and let's make the most of it. Let's make the most of the positive moments that we have.
So, as we get ready to wrap up the first episode of Positive Moments with Andrew and Don, and we're closing here in beautiful Fort George, Trinidad and Tobago, I invite you all to subscribe to our YouTube page, check out all the social media platforms. Positive Moments was born and will always be for you all, to add that value into your life, to find that positivity where it may never have been seen before, to come to places like this, to let them be our teachers. So as we wrap up, I want to thank you all for tuning in, and I will invite my brother to make a beautiful closing. I wish you all love, I wish you all light, many blessings to you all as the positivity continues to flow.
Well, I'm going to let it flow. I'm also going to let the words flow. And then people enjoy words sometimes when it's a rhyme. So I'm going to say it like this. Some creep, some crawl, some walk, some run. I know our discussion involves some fun, but much to our delight, we're thinking of you as the eagle in full flight. See you next time on Positive Moments with Andrew and Don.
Bye-bye. See you all soon. We'll be back with episode 2 just around the corner.